Hello, Internet. Welcome to 3 Major Keys, the YouTube series that will help you unlock the secrets to Excel. Yes, I know the tagline's cheesy, and no, I don't care. It's my series, and I reserve the right not to take this video too serious. Now let's have some fun, as today's episode will be covering loading equation basics. The first major key will be on rounding numbers in Excel to match bar loads with the ceiling and floor equations. The second major key will show you how to lock equations down so you can dragly and quickly copy and filter the equation to multiple cells. And the third and final key will show you the one-shot and one-kill method that will help you copy and paste equations with ease. To break down the ceiling and floor equations, let's break down the basics. Each equation in Excel begins with an equal sign, followed by the equation's name, and begins with an open parenthesis and is completed with a closed parenthesis. Now, the ceiling and floor equations basically perform the same function. The first cell entered will represent the athlete's max, and the second cell represents the set percentage. In Excel, to complete a multiplication equation, we must use the star symbol, which can be found above the number 8. To type it, just simply hold down Shift and hit the number 8. Now, after the multiplication equation, we must enter a comma, which functions as an instruction to Excel to let the program know how to round the number. For the purpose of today, we want to round to the nearest 5-pound increment. You may ask, why are ceiling and floor equations so important? Because in Excel, when you multiply the max times the set percentage, we get the literal mathematical expression, which in this case comes out to be 187.5. And I don't know about what weights you use, but that's not a bar load. We meatballs don't want mathematical expressions. We want bar loads. To break it down, the floor equation rounds down, and the ceiling equation obviously rounds up. Now that we have established that, let's jump to the real world and put these equations to use. If I go too fast for you, check the description and the link for the Prezi presentation that accompanies this video so you can follow along at your own pace. Just as a refresher for you guys, I'm just going to walk through this again one more time so we can do it in detail. All right, you're going to start every equation with an equal sign, and then we want to use the floor equation, so I'm going to type that in, floor. And typically with Excel, they show you exactly what you're going to need. So it really takes and makes everything foolproof. So what I want is, I'm just going to click over here with my percentage, and I always click the percentage first to make sure that I lock that in. Then I'm going to hit Shift and 8 for the multiplication sign, and then go up to 375, which represents our athlete's max, comma, and then I want that again to be rounded in 5-pound increments. And now it's going to give me a nice bar load. So I'm going to go over here and do the ceiling equation again for you guys so you can see it in real time. Again, clicking on the percentage first, and then my max, 5-pound increments. And you guys can clearly see how this rounds differently, and the benefits, whether you choose to do the ceiling equation or the floor equation, is completely up to you. Right now, I'm just going to kind of speed ahead and get these equations typed in. Now let's go over the second major key, locking the equation down so we can duplicate it quickly. If you're new to this program, the number one thing to know about Excel is that it's extremely tedious. A, you have to type in the right equation. B, you must then duplicate it elsewhere. And C, you have to not screw that process up. And trust me, you will. But you'll learn as you go. There are 2 basic methods that you can use to duplicate equations. In the second key, we're going to focus on manually typing out the function and then copying it by using the drag method. Excel is all about referencing. The red cells C2 represent the athlete's max, which we want to keep the same as we duplicate the equation. And you can see that the blue cells change accordingly from C3 to C9 as we duplicate the equation down the line. The pro of manually typing these equations out is that it serves as practice and teaches you how to become accurate in your programming. The con of this method is, well, it's very time consuming and it's easy to make a typo, which can result in an error. Now let's talk about locking the cell down. The number one problem with copying and pasting is that the equations will shift with the cells. To avoid this, we must first lock the cells we want to remain the same and constant, and in this case, it's our athlete's max. The $sign locks cells in place in equations. To do this, we must put a $sign both in front of the letter and the number. This effectively locks down the column and the row for that cell. If you have one and not the other, it can result in the error as you begin to copy and paste. You can manually type the $ by holding down Shift and typing the number 4, or by clicking up in the equation bar and selecting F2. For Mac users, you want to hold down Command and the number 4 to automatically enter the $signs. For PC users, all you have to do is make sure that is highlighted and hit F4 at the very top of your keyboard. After locking the athlete's max, we can very easily duplicate this equation by dragging it down. When a cell is selected, this green box shows up around it. This box is your friend. Also, when a cell is selected, your mouse cursor changes to a white plus sign. Move that plus sign over the edge of the green box, the cursor now changes into a small hand, and by clicking and holding the edge of that cell, that hand closes into a fist, letting you know that you have a hold of that cell and can now move it to a new location. The equation stays the same, but we want to duplicate that equation, not just move it. To quickly copy, notice a small green square in the bottom right corner of this box. Move your cursor over that box, and now the cursor will change to a black plus sign. You are now ready to drag that equation down. When paired with the double $signs, it is a very valuable method to take advantage of, but be careful not to overdrag and make sure that you lock it up before you drag it. The single biggest key I can give you to Excel is that there are multiple ways to complete similar functions, and there is no correct way. There's just the way that works best for you. So be sure to keep an open mind, and most importantly, be patient, because it takes a while to get this stuff locked down. Now that we're back, we're going to type our first 2 equations in using our floor equation here. Again, making sure that I click the percentage first and then my max, just to make sure it's on the right line to begin with. And then doing the same for ceiling. Ceiling percentage, multiply that by my max, 5-pound increments, whenever you're ready, Excel. All right, now I'm going to click up here, and when I click up in the equations, it's going to give me my color code again. Again, I've color coded the cells so it matches the equation bar. So what I'm going to do, I have a max, so I'm going to hit Command 4. For PC users, you guys are going to use the F4 key at the top of your keyboard. So when I do that, you can see that if you look up here, it's going to give me my double $signs and lock that in. And I want to do the same exact thing. Just click over here up to F12, Command 4 for Mac, and F4 for PC users. Hit enter, and it's got those locked in. Now I can very easily and quickly, again, if you can kind of see how my cursor changes. If I click, hold that, drag down, it makes my life a whole lot easier. It drags that equation down for me, and I don't have to sit there and spend all that time typing each one of those in. And I wish it took as much time to do that as it did to explain it, but I think it's very important for you guys to understand why and how these equations work, because sure, you can know the equations, but knowing how to exactly use them is what's going to be the huge kicker when you start to build your own templates. So let's go back over to the presentation, check out how to copy and paste with ease using the one-shot, one-kill method. Jumping straight into the third key, anytime you copy a cell, this dash box appears. This animated box identifies which cell is being copied. Here are 2 additional methods to copy and paste. First, you can use the right-click method or the hotkey method. The right-click method is exactly what it sounds like. First, select the cell you wish to be copied, and then right-click over it. Select the function you want from the menu. In this case, it's to copy the cell, and then select the area you want the equation to be duplicated, right-click again, and then paste the contents. Hotkeys are the quick, easy, and sexy method of many functions in Excel. But much like in real life, anything that is quick, easy, and/or sexy can get you in trouble if you're careless. There are 4 hotkeys we are going to focus on today that represent the functions of copy, paste, cut, and undo. Looking at our keyboard, first remember that the command function serves as a hotkey for Mac users, and the control key is the hotkey for PC users. So hold down whichever key it is for you and follow this guide for each function. C is the command for copy. V is the command for paste. X is the command for cut. And Z is the command for undo. And trust me, you'll be using Command or Control Z quite a bit. Now for the one shot and one kill method. Click on the equation you desire to duplicate. Now, copy that cell however you feel like, hold down the Control or Command keys, and highlight the area you wish to paste the equation. Once that is complete, with those cells highlighted, paste the equation with one of the previously mentioned methods. And you have now just learned the one shot and one kill method to copy and pasting. We're back. I want to copy this equation in, and I'm not going to use the ceiling equation because, again, remember that Excel is a reference-based program. So if my template is set to the left, I want to make sure that I use an equation that references to the left. So I'm going to copy my first floor equation up here, and I'm just going to paste it down here so you can quickly see. I use Command V for mine, but for the purpose of this tutorial here, I'm going to go over here and highlight all 4 areas by holding down Command and then clicking and dragging over each 4 areas. And when Excel wants to work with me, go and do this. Excel's a tricky thing, man. Sometimes she likes to work with you, sometimes she doesn't. You guys just kind of saw that. Now I'm going to use the right click method here and paste just so you can see the other method, and it goes in there pretty clean and pretty smoothly. So appreciate you guys checking this out. And thanks to everyone that has shown their support and interest into 3 major keys and lessons in strength the last few weeks. I can't tell you how humbling it is to have so many people interested in my work. So I'm going to throw a little bit of a deal out there. If this video has over 500 views in the first day and my channel has over 200 subscribers, I will post episode 2 tomorrow. The more interest you guys show in this series, the more work I will put into this channel and get more information to be shared out there free to you, the viewer.